Hello, everyone. Yes, welcome to today's live session. So, guys, we have a breaking news, and that has led to us having this live session at this moment. We must have heard that there is a coup right away in Gabon. Honestly, this came as a surprise to so many people. I mean, many people least expected this coup to happen in Gabon. You can imagine since 2020 till now, we've had about 8 coups in African countries that are colonized by France. As in, that is even the most interesting part of all this, that these countries that have experienced this coup for this short period of time, I mean, within the space of 3 years, we've had many African countries that are colonized by France experiencing coup. And one keep asking what is happening in Africa, especially in West Africa. Don't forget how close Gabon is to us. The proximity is really there. So, guys, this is coming as a very big surprise to so many people around the world. People keep asking, what is happening in Africa? But for us, in one way or the other, you see that the masses are waking up, as in the people are realizing that they've been held in bondage. The people need freedom. This is the president of Gabon. He has been there for how many years? You can see 53-year reign of this man. He's not feeling well. He's not strong, but still he went out to contest for this position and was declared the winner. That is even the most ridiculous aspect of this story. This man won again after this 53-year reign. He was declared the winner, and that led to the military coming up to take over power. So, guys, I've got Dr. Tel here to take us through this trending topic. We've got a lot here to discuss. So, before I bring Dr. Tel in, let me just play this clip, and then he will take over from there.
Do you mind, please? If you don't mind, can I come in?
Yes, you can.
Sorry to interrupt you. You just started by saying all these coups, 8 of them since 2020 to 2023, happened, 8 of them, African countries colonized by France.
Yes.
What is it about countries colonized by France? What is happening in the governance? Now, I tell you something. If you go to Togo, a country that is bordering Nigeria, which was also colonized by France, the Eyadema family has been in power in that country since the time you can remember. The current president of Togo, which is his name is Eyadema, it's hard for me to pronounce, has been there since 2005. Since 2005, this is 2023. That is 18 years after he took over from his own father. He took over from his own father, who was the president of Togo from 1967 until 2005. Now, what it means is that this family alone have been in power since 1967 till date. That is 56 years, a father and a son. Come over to Cameroon. Cameroon is in Central African Republic, just like Gabon is in Central African Republic. Paul Biya is today known as the oldest president in the world. And he has been in power from 1975 to 1982. He was a prime minister. And then he took over from 1982 till date. So he's been president for 41 years and prime minister for 7 years, total of 48 years in power. And the France are okay with such people. The France as a colonizer, they are comfortable with such a people. Let us ask ourselves a question. What is the quality of life in Togo? What is the quality of life of the citizens of Cameroon? And France are okay. You come over to Mali, you come over to Ivory Coast, you come over, just all these countries colonized by France. They don't care about the leaders and how they rule their people. They don't care how they govern. There must be something these countries and these bad leaders are providing for them. That is why they don't care about how the people are suffering, provided whatever the leaders are giving. Look at Mobutu Sese Seko. When this man was killed, or I don't think it was France that colonized the Democratic Republic of Congo, though. I think that was Belgium. But I mean, it's still the same Europeans. I don't think it is like that with the countries colonized by Britain, because I can tell you that whatever problem we have in Nigeria today, we brought it upon ourselves. We can govern ourselves. We can be who we want to be. If there is anything Britain is doing, they are doing it subtly. They are not forcing you. It's like they are throwing debates to you and they're telling you, if you like it, fine. If you don't like it. Nigeria can be anything they want to be. I don't think the shackles of Britain is on their former colonies. Look at India. India was colonized by Britain. Today, India is giving Britain conditions under which they can do business. That's to tell you that the Britain will tell you, whatever you want to be, you can become. But what is it that is happening in countries colonized by France? What is it? And today, we are still talking about Niger Republic, that it's 1 month plus now. On the 26th of this month, made it 1 month that a military took over. And they say it's democratically elected president. Are we going to say that what is happening in Cameroon is democratically elected? Are we going to say that what is happening in Togo is democracy? Is that the kind of democracy they practice in France? Is that the kind of democracy that what is happening in Togo for 56 years, one family? 56 years. His father was in power. Omar Bongo, the father of this particular Gabon president, was in power from 1967 to 2009. And then he took over from his father since 1967 till date, 56 years. 5-6, not 5-3. I just thought to interrupt you. You can go on with your video, please.
Yeah, so guys, I'm going to play this video now so that we just get to know exactly what is happening. So take a look at this.
After the state election body announced, President Ali Bongo had won a third 7-year term in office. Now, the officers who represent security and defense forces in Central Africa made the announcement early this morning. The military has closed the country's borders until further notice and dissolved all state institutions, they said. If successful, the apparent coup would represent the 8th in West and Central Africa since the year 2020. Now,
so, Doc, I really want you to come in at this point because this happened as a result of flawed election. They had an election and they declared, you can see the president of Gabon, he's not feeling well. This man has been sick for a very long while. And you know, like you just said, the president of France, I mean the government, the French government keep protecting this man to the detriment of Gabon as a country. They could not even caution this man to go and rest. Somebody that he hardly worked well, So when they had this election, the people were not satisfied. The military had to just take advantage of that.
You know what? I think there's another video clip we saw on France 24. Is it possible for us to play that one and then come back to this again? It's about 2 minutes, please. Audience, I want you to just pay attention.
Reporter Cyril Payan joins me on set for the latest on the situation in Gabon. And you've got some new information, Cyril.
Yeah, the news are developing.
Yes,
Senior reporter Cyril Payan joins me on set for the latest on the situation in Gabon. And you've got some new information, Cyril.
Yeah, the news are developing very fast in Libreville. We now know that the President Ali Bongo was rumored to have fled in Morocco. This is totally unconfirmed because he's under arrest, under house arrest. Has been confirmed on national TV this morning. One of his sons has been arrested too. The National Election Commission president, the very one who announced the victory of Ali Bongo later at dawn, is arrested too. And we should have a face and a name for the new strongman of Gabon. This is the General.
Yeah. Their own INEC chairman was arrested too. Good. The people must have felt that I don't know what they call the Electoral Commission. I call it their own INEC chairman. That tells you that These INEC people, these people in charge of election, they play hand in hand on imposing on people who they don't want to govern them. That's one of the reasons why I want us to listen to this video clip. And I want you to continue, please.
Who knows how much they must have given him?
Yes. Go ahead.
Oligui Nguema, which is a very powerful and well-known general among the army, is the chief of the Republican Guard. He was a spy, very involved in the spying circles in Gabon. So it's not a surprise, but it looks like it's confirmation of the coup, and there is a new face as the head of state of Gabon as we speak.
So, Cyril, you know Gabon very well. You were just there 5 months ago with the French president, Emmanuel Macron, where he was very supportive of President Bongo. This is turning a bit into a diplomatic nightmare for him now.
Very, very much indeed. It was a lot of the French president really did capitalize on of President Bongo. He spent 4 days in Libreville organizing a summit. So it looks like at this time it was starting. We were talking about the elections. There were some people contesting, saying that the French are too involved, and this is the old tradition to be involved in these ultra-rich countries. President Macron was trying to stop this kind of image, but it went very bad. Again, this is
Can we pause here? Did you hear what that lady said? That President Macron was very supportive of a man who has been in power for 14 years, who is very sick, and who is campaigning to come back for another 7 years. President Macron was very supportive of him. Such a thing happened in President Macron's country. That's number one. President Macron was very supportive of a man who has been in power for 14 years, coming to extend it to 21 years, after his own father had been in power for how many years? For 42 years. President Macron is happy for one family to be in power for a total of 56 years so far. That is what they call democracy. That is what they want us to enjoy in Nigeria. That is what they want us to enjoy in Africa. What is it that is good about his government that President Macron and the whole of France are not campaigning against him? What is the quality of life of people in Gabon? What is the per capita income in Gabon? How many roads are nylon tied? What is the health care in Gabon? What is the transport system in Gabon? What is the level of education of the citizens of Gabon? What are those indices that President Macron relied upon to support a man and a family that has pocketed a country for 56 years? I feel so enraged here. I don't even know. I feel like busting. That is all I wanted us to see in this video clip. This is my own. You can go back to your own. Thank you.
Like a domino effect in this region is going very fast and brutally, and to the demise of the French, of course. So everybody has in mind this trip, and many people think he should have thought twice, maybe. So it's a very much a very political and diplomatic nightmare, as you said.
And not just in Gabon, because if this coup is indeed confirmed as a coup, it would be the 8th one in Africa in just 3 years.
Of course. So everybody, all the diplomatic circles are pointing the fingers on these West African countries, Burkina Faso, Mali, Guinea, Niger 1 month ago, and still going on. And again, this domino effect, which is very, very bad. President Macron just yesterday was quoted as saying this is an epidemic of putsch. The thing is, these putsch are not the same perpetrators, but the France is always used as a scapegoat in this matter because it's the old military allies, traditional colony also. But it's it's a very, very strong turn in the events and the diplomatic terrible fate for France, indeed.
Yes, doctor. Honestly, this is really not looking good. This is not looking good. You can imagine France as in holding African countries hostage, because that's exactly what it is. They are just enslaving the people. They will impose on us a particular man as a president and begin to manipulate the man. Look at what is happening in Cameroon. Have you people seen the president of Cameroon, who once upon a time, he was in a gathering. He didn't even know where he was. They were whispering into his ears, telling him that he was meant to speak. He was asking like, where am I? What should I do? And all that. And recently, there is this video trending online. I mean, today online, where he went to France to celebrate, I think, the 40th birthday of his rule over Cameroon. And come and see, Cameroonians went there to scatter everywhere. They went there to scatter. You can imagine France condoning this kind of poor leadership in Africa. I don't know what Macron is really doing. I don't know what is, how, I don't know. Why is he taking Africans for granted? Why is he just, influencing Africa? A young man like him, when he came into power, people were celebrating him, that a young man took over leadership in France. But look at the suppression on Africans. When you go to Niger, like people were citing instance, that they only come there to milk the resources of Niger, leaving Niger as one of the poorest countries in this planet Earth. And we all know how they've been benefiting from the natural resources there without giving the people anything for a reward. I'm so happy somehow. It's not as if we are in support of coup, but when our leaders, leave that gap, when they don't fill that gap, as in the military, the smart ones in the military want to take advantage of what is happening. And
exactly.
Yes.
And you know what I'm still asking, like that woman said, this France 24 woman, that President Macron was so very supportive. Supportive of what?
He supports all the old men leading as presidents in Africa.
What it means is this. If you analyze the Ali Bongo family and the Omar Bongo, who happens to his father, from 1967 till 2023, if we analyze it, the quality of life of the people of the Gabonese, their health status, their per capita income, their life expectancy, the level of development, the utilization of their human resources and their natural resources, whatever you summarize it to be, Macron is comfortable with it. That's what it means. That's the way I analyze my thing.
And Doc, you can even see that he's married to a French lady, a French woman. We all saw it in the first clip that I played. So yes. This woman who came from a developed country, she's married to this president, and she experiences what the ordinary people of Gabon pass through on a daily basis. And you could see her supporting the man to come back into power. You see, this man can't walk. It's not as if one is making jest of him. He can't walk. He has health challenges. He can't walk. This man should be resting.
That's why I said the quality of the outputs of his leadership, the subjugation of the Gabonese, whatever, if you go to Gabon and they're enjoying themselves, good. If you go to Gabon and they are suffering, if you go to Gabon and their mineral resources are well utilized or exploited, if you go to Gabon and their life expectancy is high or low, whatever you can summarize as the welfare, the status, the quality of life of Gabonese, President Macron, according to that woman, is comfortable with it. He likes it, he endorsed it, and he wants it to continue for another 7 years.
Honestly, they've really treated Africa so bad. But I'm just happy that people are waking up, as in people are realizing that the status quo must change. Things mustn't continue as it has been. Don't forget that most of these countries, their currencies are built, they do it in France and then bring it for them to use. And at the end of the day, they will still go to France to pay their taxes. I don't know, the level of slavery that these African countries go through at the hand of France is really unexplainable. As in, France is really holding Africa hostage. And you see our people trooping out that they are coming to Europe. At the end of the day, they will die in the Mediterranean Sea. And most times they will even deport people home. You find out that France is holding Africa hostage, because had it been our continent is developed, you won't see people, moving out en mass for greener pasture in other countries like European countries. Things will be better. But they come there, enslave us, and then impose leaders that are not qualified. Can you imagine this man now at this stage that he is, his age, his health state, and all that? How can he meet up in this 21st century, in this internet world that we are living? This world that we are talking of, AI and all that. What will he be talking about as regards to the education sector in his country? How will he be impacting people's lives? What ideas will he be bringing to the table? Somebody that barely walks, he's being supported all the time when he tries walking. And still, they don't want to make way. As in, they don't want to move away from this position so that other young people can take over leadership. Honestly, when you look at all this, you want to give a very big kudos to the military, because we must not continue this way. Look at Niger. Niger stood firm despite all the threats that came across. Countries were threatening them. Don't forget that even Nigeria the ECOWAS body had to impose sanctions on them, and it has been biting hard on them. The citizens are really suffering, but for them, they are fine with it, provided it helps them to be liberated. Honestly, French has not really played a very good role in Africa. They are just there for their own selfish reason.
Let's go back to your video. I think there was something they were trying to say in your initial video that before I interrupted.
We're running high in Gabon amid fears of unrest after Saturday's presidential and legislative polls. Bongo's disputed victory extends his family's 56-year grip on power.
Je suis là, d'abord pour rendre justice. Je suis là pour vider l'injustice. Je suis là pour vous tous. Je suis là pour les affamés. Je suis là pour les mal logés. Je suis là pour les non logés. Je suis là pour les veuves. Je suis là pour les orphelins. Je suis là pour les maltraités.
All right, let's get some perspective now on...
Pay attention, guys. Listen, go ahead. No, go ahead. It's important. It's
this coup, and now we are joined by the director for Geneva Center for Africa Security and Strategic Studies. David Otto is live for us in Abuja this morning. Mr. Otto, thank you very much for your time. Let me get your thoughts about what you think precipitated this latest coup in Gabon.
Well, I think what we know so far is from the military junta that has declared itself as, the Committee of the Transition and Restoration of Institutions. I mean, they're saying that the government has not been respecting the will of Gabonese. Of course, this is in connection to the just announced, presidential election, giving President Ali Bongo 64.2 7%, as opposed to his opponent Albert Ondo, who had 30.77%. The election has been marked by irregularities. Of course, the opposition leader Albert Ondo had previously declared himself as the winner, but of course that was not the announcement of the Electoral Commission. So effectively what the military is saying is that the government has not been respecting the will of the people, and that it has now taken power and dissolved all key institutions.
So, Doc, please, can you come here?
Excellent. Election was marred by irregularities. Now, let me take you back a bit in this country. His father ran a single party system until 1990. Before pressure came, he allowed multiple parties, meaning there was only one party that was electing and re-electing him. In 1993, there was massive irregularity in the election process, but he still foisted himself back on the people The same thing happened in 1998. And yet again in 2005. He foisted himself. It was death that removed him in 2009. His son took over and continued up until date. So if we go back to the previous France 24 woman's commentary, that President Macron was so much in support. So President Macron is in support of this pattern of victory. Victory that is marred with irregularities, victory that is marred with people's anger, victory that is marred with quote and unquote seemingly imposition of yourself and a puppet on the people. The question I want to ask President Macron is, what interest do you have in a country where people are treated like slaves, where people are suffering, and you are going big supporting such leaders? What benefits are you and your country benefiting from the sufferings of other human beings? Other human beings that were given birth like you. It's so painful. Really? It's so annoying. And that is why the so-called ECOWAS leaders are fighting to destabilize Niger, because they themselves are afraid. Remember what they said in that France 24 clip, that this is like a domino and it is like epidemic. They don't know, it has started festering. They don't know how long it's going to last, because all of them have skeleton in their cupboard. And that is exactly what we are crying in our own country, Nigeria. Look at what INEC did to us. If not that someone like Peter Obi is a responsible, humble, and peace-loving person, imagine if Peter Obi had come and say, Nigerians, we can't take this. Go and fight and rescue your country. Wouldn't Nigeria be burning by now? In 2011, there was no rigging, as it were. But someone who lost that election unleashed terror on the whole Nigerians. And people, coppers, NYSC members were slaughtered all over the northern Nigeria. You can imagine if Peter Obi was angry and made some kind of inflammatory statement on Nigeria, about the kind of daylight robbery that INEC chairman and INEC and police perpetuated on Nigeria. Where will Nigeria be today? Where will Nigeria be today? And despite, did you hear? They have formed the campaign, the people who go to Bayelsa State to campaign for the governorship election. And all our own wonderful Wike is one of the members of the campaign council. Didn't I say it in this platform? That all these people they are given ministerial position are political hawks. They are the patrons of the corrupt system. And they will use government money to go and fight for future elections. And they want to go and test run it in Bayelsa State. Wike is one of them. So if Wike find himself there, so Wike want to go and perpetuate in Bayelsa State what he did in River State. Well, PDP, you are there. LP, you are there. Because they are coming. Wike is now coming to campaign for APC. What a shameless turnaround.
Doctor, do you even know the funniest part is that it's like PDP even nominated him and APC now nominated him. So Wike appears to be the beautiful bride. Now everybody's like fighting for Wike because they know that he understands how to manipulate everything. So guys, honestly, we'll be bringing you this topic in full. We really want to digest this topic. You know, this Wike being appointed as one of the campaign leaders in the APC. We'll be talking about that maybe in the next section that will be coming up live. So, but let's just focus on this African whatever, this development, happening in Africa, because honestly, is somehow is a thing of joy, because people might say, oh, you are supporting military coup. Nobody supports military. Is never the best option, as in democracy remains the best form of government, because assuming we have military rule in Nigeria, possibly we might not even be talking here. We might not be talking here, but democracy gives you that freedom of, to express yourself, provided you do it in a respected way. But we're going to opt for military rules because our democratically elected leaders have failed us. That's why I'm going to be playing this clip, because we want to round up this session, we want to keep it brief. But let me just give you a video just for you to see the celebration of the people in Gabon, because you might think that this could just happen, the people do not even know about it, military just took over, but you get to see the happiness of the people. You'll be shocked to see the reaction. Just take a look at this video and you know that honestly Africans have rejected democracy. Look at it. Yes, so guys, you saw it for yourself. The people are happy that the military took over, meaning that their leaders have disappointed them. They've not gotten that benefit that they are supposed to get from their leaders. You can see their expression as in they are happy that this coup took place. So it's really a wake-up call for our leaders. They should wake up. They should wake up, and people that hold positions like this INEC chairman of a thing, don't forget that they've also arrested the INEC chairman of Gabon. Let's use INEC to give it a name. They've arrested him, the man that made this man the president, that announced that he has won this election, has been arrested. Because, I'm just thanking God that these countries are now example for Nigeria to learn, as in, since Nigeria cannot really position itself as the giant of Africa, let Nigeria as a country learn from all these countries. Because they've seen that the military have seen that, upon that this our president is not feeling well, you declared him, and we saw all the irregularities that happened, and you just came out and declared him the winner. And that's why they seized this opportunity. The same thing happened in Nigeria and our military. Let's not say we are calling them to take over, no. But I think in some countries, the INEC chairman wouldn't have even gone free, as in, because he didn't do the right thing. He didn't. So guys, I think this is just a wake-up call for all African leaders. They should wake up, and especially when there is an election, they should allow the people to choose, to make their choice. You can imagine that it's the tribunal who is going to tell us who is the president, meaning that the tribunal will be the one to decide. The judiciary decides for the people now, not the people deciding, because we have a body called INEC that couldn't do its job well. So, Doc, let me hear your closing thought. As we close up this.
Yeah, it's such a shame. The other video you were playing, I happen to have thought that we could have finished it, because the man actually began to explain not just the subjugation of the people of the Gabon, but the manipulation of this election. They blocked internet, they did all sorts of things. And the people had to revolt. But we will take this in our next live session. How does it connect with Nigeria? Is the judiciary watching? Now, another question I want to ask is France now getting ready to go and fight in Gabon while they are fighting in Niger? Okay, African Union, you people are suspending Niger. Get ready to suspend Gabon. And now,
who knows? Who knows? Another coup may even happen in the nearest future.
Now that ECOWAS is facing Niger, the Central African Economic Zone, will they be facing Togo? What a shame.
Hmm.
What a shame. And what I want to ask President Macron is, you're fighting to put back these leaders so that they continue ruling the way they are ruling, which means by deductive reasoning, you take joy. You are happy to see us, Africans, black men and women, go through this kind of subjugation and through this kind of slavery again. Before now, it was direct enslavement, and now it is indirect enslavement of Africans through Africans by Africans. It is unfair. If there is God in heaven, Mr. President Macron, when you look him in the face and try to pray, what do you tell him in your prayer about the influence of your country in Africa, in Niger, in Gabon, in Togo, in Cameroon, in Democratic Republic of Congo, in Senegal, in Ivory Coast? What do you tell God? What conscience do you have to talk about human rights whilst you are crushing the right of others by the implication of your governance? I pray that God helps us. We can see that the so-called people we look up to are not there for us. Like I said, I am not saying that everything is uhuru with the countries that were colonized by the British. But I can see that almost all the countries that were colonized by British, the choice of their freedom is in their hand. At any time, the West may have taken advantage of us. We deliberately desired it. We desired it. Because I remember David Cameron using his mouth to say that Nigeria is fantastically corrupt, meaning that, hey guys, why are you people destroying yourself? But I don't think that that is what is happening in the Francophone or Franc-colonized countries. All right, people. See you guys later. Thank you.
Thank you for that contribution. So, guys, thank you all for joining us in this live session. We'll be coming on live again in a short while. Please subscribe to this channel and turn on the notification bell so that you get to know all our updates. And whenever we are live here, you'll be notified. Please don't forget to like this video so that YouTube can recommend it for more people to watch. With this, I want to say a very big thank you for being a part of this live session. God bless you and thank you. Bye.
Bye.